sincerely thinking about what you doing and about where are you going. What happens is that a lot of us, we don't plan. You know, why many people end up being losers and end up not finishing projects and starting something and jump into something else, and you know, you end up by not doing anything at the end of the day and just looking back and regret it. That's the worst feeling that you could be experiencing. The regret. You know, the regret that you get when you see someone that was trying to do something with you, but you was scared and you didn't risk yourself and you prefer to go to the safe path, and he ended up being successful by risking, and you end up, you know, just being somewhere where you wasn't really want to be. So what do I mean by all of this? Because I know it all sounds like Chinese. What I mean by this is that in your life, you're gonna have two paths. If you're in your 20s right now, or if you are in your 30s, you have two paths in your life. So the first path is the one that everyone tells you, and that the society tells you, schools tells you, and probably even your parents tells you, which is go to school, get a degree, get a job, stabilize your life, because that's what you know, most of the people believe, that you getting a degree and getting a job, you working for someone for the rest of your life, which is maybe 40 years, 50 years, and maybe even trying to buy a house on a mortgage, which first of all is haram, and second of all, you're gonna end up paying the house in 30 years, which you might even die before you end up paying it. And this is where mortgage comes from. Mort, M-O-R-T, even in Catalan it means death. And all of this, what you need to understand is that it's all a scam. It's all a scam to get people to pay you know, the government for the rest of their life, basically. So if you get into it, it's going to be hard to get out of it. And that's what most people preach, and that's what most people from back home, if you have parents from back home, if you're a Muslim or an immigrant of second or third generation, that's probably what your parents are telling you right now, or telling you to, you know, get a degree, get a job, get married, buy a house, lease a car, and keep paying stuff for the rest of your life monthly, and to a point where you are stuck. You can't travel. You are forced to stay at that place, and what that generates in your life is a level of stress and a level of anxiety, and you know, people might even get mad, and you know, and what happens is that goes into the relation, and it end up being a divorce. And this is why the rate of divorce nowadays is really high, and it has a lot to do with this, because a lot of people, they don't enjoy their lives. So this is the first path. Now the second path is what rich people and successful people, according to the definition of human being here in the dunya, rich people, like we said, that's what they do. And that's why the rich stays rich, because once you know this, obviously you pass it on to your children. And this is why a lot of people, they actually get mad that the children of the rich, they stay rich, and the children, they stay rich, and the rich, they stay rich. And you actually just get frustrated, and instead of looking at them and trying to learn from them, you just hate on them and try and reinvent the wheel, which is something that you shouldn't do. You should just look at someone who's successful and literally copy what he's doing. You know, just put some of your sauce. So that's the second path. The second path, it would be what rich people do. What rich people do is they risk themselves, and they go against what society says. And the formula is really simple. Is you figure out how to make money. You stack your money and act broke. And you stack your money and act broke for years. It might be 1, 2, 3, 10 years. And then all of that money, whenever you receive money, you invest that money into assets. And basically you don't spend the money with liabilities. So liabilities is something that you will pay, and that thing won't generate you money, and it will only make you lose money. So a liability will be something like like every month you buy these new sneakers, every month you go to the cinema, every week you go to a restaurant, every month you buy new clothes, and all of this is not bringing you money. What rich people do is every time they get some money, either they save it up to invest it, or either they invest it straight away. So you might invest it into self-development, self-growth, into books, into courses, into mentors, to become financially literal and start to understand how money works, how to make money work for you instead of you working for the money. And that's what it is. And then you go from this stage, which is stage 1, to stage 2, and now you start investing into different assets. It might be into franchises or into other businesses, and then you go from the businesses, you start investing into real estate. And this is how you create wealth. This is how you create wealth. There is a difference in making money and creating wealth. So creating wealth, it will be you investing into things that will keep you generating money for the rest of your life, like real estate or something like this. All right, so this is what I mean by if you don't think about this right now in your 20s, in your 30s, you will get caught in the routine. Every day you're gonna wake up, you are doing a degree, you don't even know why you're doing a degree, you don't even think about what you are going to be doing after you finish this degree. You don't visualize yourself doing something after the degree. And you don't realize that if you get this degree, and this degree is for you to get a job, you'll be doing this job for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So this is really important for you to think right now, for you to think in your 20s, in your 30s, and to really sit down. Because what happens a lot with us and with the human being in general is that when you are in too much into something, you forget to realize from an outside perspective what you are doing and where you are going. So it's good sometimes that you step back. Like, for example, the Prophet ﷺ used to do this. He used to go to the cave and reflect and think, on your things, on what's going on, what you're doing, what you planning, what is going to be next year, what is going to be the next 5 years, what is going to be the next 10 years. And this is something that in the societies we live in is really hard for you to do, because you wake up every day, you have bills to pay, so you need to go to work, you get back home, you're tired, now you start getting, you feel a necessity to get married, you get married, you have children, now the children need to go to school, and it's basically you going around the same freaking thing all the time, and you can't even step back, and you barely sometimes even have the money to step back and go somewhere for a weekend and just think and reflect and feel the nature and the energy of the nature and be able to think, because you have bills to pay. On the weekend you're tired from the whole week, you just feel like laying down on the bed for 15 hours. You don't feel like thinking or anything like that, because that is just not how the human being is. Like, you actually need to be reminded by this, and this is why hopefully by this you will realize this. So it's really important that you do this, because like we said, when you are too much into this routine, it's hard for you to see what you're doing and where you're going from an outside eye and an outside perspective. Like, okay, this is where I've this is where I've been all my life, this is where I am right now. Now what is the next steps? Like, what do I really want to be working for the rest of my life? What do I want for my next generation? What do I want for my descendants? Do I want to be working in this job for the next 20 years? What is the next job I'm going to be getting? Do I really want to get a job? Do I want to buy a house? Like, you need to plan your whole life. Like, you need to plan from year. You need to plan from year to year, from month to month, and from week to week. That's what I would advise. And even if you can do day per day and keep the routine pretty similar every day, so your body gets used to it, because the human being is a creature of habit. That will help you immensely as well to get your goals done, and you will see that you'll get done in record time, where other people takes them years to accomplish just because they are not focused. All right, so this is what I mean by but if you don't think about this, you will be broke in 10 years. Okay, it's a pretty general statement, but that's what I basically meant. So hopefully, guys, this was beneficial. I just wanted to put this out there. I think it's something really, really, really important that I would have liked to be, you know, to tell my 15 years old, my 20 years old. I'm 25 right now, but this is something that I definitely I would have liked to know earlier. So yeah, guys, that's it for tonight. You know, let me know what you think about this, and let me know if you're planning your life for the next years. And I'll see you guys on the next